What do we do when we come across those people that we witness to and we share the law with them and we share the gospel message with them, but they still don't quite agree with what we are telling them? Sometimes people will abruptly end the conversation, or they may just disagree with you. But always remember that we're not commanded to actually do the saving. Only God can do that. Only the Holy Spirit draws people. So remember that all we're commanded to do is to go out and to share the good news, even if people don't believe it. We never know after we speak with someone if they'll go from that place and God begin to work on their conscience. We never know what seed would be planted. So try not to be discouraged when these things happen, because you won't always be able to close the deal, as they say. The Holy Spirit is the one that draws the people. All we're commanded to do is to go out and share the good news. Watch as this gentleman here that I witnessed to, Arthur, at UNCC, as I share the complete gospel message with him, but he still disagrees with what I have to say. Where do you think that your morals come from? Do you think it's more of something that you grow up with, or do you, and what you're taught, or do you think that's something that is like your conscience that's inside of you?
I think it kind of goes hand in hand. You know, the way you're brought up definitely lays the foundation to what direction, you know, your ideology is. But some of it is kind of developmental. In fact, most of it is developmental. With me personally, I got the concept, or kind of figured out more of who I was as I grew, you know, and like how I would approach certain situations or look at certain things. But everything is kind of progressive, you know, especially when you're young.
So are you a religious person?
Somewhat. I believe in God.
Okay, you believe in God. Would you consider yourself to be a good person?
From a general standpoint, yeah, I would.
Okay. Well, if you don't mind, what I wanted to do is I wanted to ask you a few questions and let you examine for yourself whether or not you feel like you're a good person. Is that cool? Okay. Okay. Arthur, what do you think happens to a person when they die?
Physically, like any other matter, they deteriorate. Spiritually, that's kind of a guess to me. You know, I mean, I imagine that it's some type of reincarnating place they go to or something. Heaven, I guess. You know.
Okay. Do all people go to heaven?
No, probably not.
Okay. All right. So what I want to do is I just want to kind of give you a self-examination. This is not for us to try to judge you. This is just for you to examine yourself, okay? Okay, that's cool. All right. Arthur, have you ever told a lie?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. If you tell a lie, what do people call you if you tell lies?
They call you a liar.
Okay, fair enough. Have you ever stolen anything? Any time in your life, regardless of the value, even how long ago?
Yeah, I've stolen something before.
Okay, so if you steal things, or if you've stolen something before, what do people generally refer to you as?
They classify you as a thief.
Okay, all right. Now, in the Bible, Jesus says that you've heard of old that you're not to commit adultery. But he went on to say that if you look at a person lustfully, then you've committed adultery in your heart. Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. And, Arthur, what I've done is I've just kind of taken you through a couple of the Ten Commandments. Are you familiar with the Ten Commandments? You ever heard of those? Okay. And that's just three of them. I'm not going to make you go through all of them. And like I said, I'm not judging you. This is just based on what you said yourself. Okay. It sounds a little harsh, but just bear with me. But you've admitted that you're a liar, a thief, and an adulterer at heart, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So if God judged you when you die based upon those commandments, do you think that you would be guilty or innocent?
Well, if he based it on then, who I was then and when I done it, then yeah, I would definitely be, I guess, judged in the worst way.
Okay, so would that mean that you would go to heaven or to hell?
It would mean I would go to hell, sir.
Okay. Does that concern you at all, that if God judged you based on those things that you would have gone to hell?
Does it concern me now? Not too much. No.
Okay, so are you said it doesn't concern you now, or what is your religious standing now?
Like I said, I mean, I do believe in God. I do believe you will be judged. But, religiously, I'm not strictly committed to anything, to be honest with you.
Are you Christian or
no,
any particular?
I don't, I can't. I know there's a lot of criteria to match what somebody would call a Christian, so I wouldn't classify myself as belonging to any religious category.
Okay, so what I'm kind of understanding from you is that, and just correct me if I'm wrong. What I kind of understand is that basically, you believe that in the past, based on the way you used to be, according to what you're saying, is you would have gone to hell, but now you don't feel like you would. Is that correct?
No, I'm not really saying that. I'm saying that if it was based, if I was judged today and it was based on my, my past or, my previous standings, that most likely, up until this point, most likely I would.
Okay. So, but right now, so you feel like you're a pretty good person now, right?
Yeah, morally, I am. I mean, like, I'm not gonna sit there and say like, there's everything about me is totally perfect.
Sure. Well, let me run this by for you to consider, and you can give me your thoughts on it. Okay. Let's say, for example, that you were in a courtroom here on earth, and you were standing before the judge, and you were guilty of some kind of serious crime, and you told the judge, you said, "Your Honor, I realized that I did that, but that's been, a couple years ago since I committed that crime, and since that time, I've changed my ways. I'm sorry that I did that. I've changed my ways. I do good things now. I help the poor. I donate money. I help little old ladies across the street. I'm basically a good person. And so, I feel like now you should, give me a break on this." Do you think that would be fair and just for the judge to do?
Well, that would be quite a different perspective and a totally different situation in a, judicial process. I don't really think that I would flat out admit if I was being accused of something. You know what I'm saying? And I did it, then the evidence in criminal court, the evidence would have to, be beyond the shadow of a doubt. So.
Right. But see,
I don't think I'm gonna go as far as to self-incriminate myself, but.
Well, I'm saying if you were guilty, not if you're incriminating yourself, but you realize that you're guilty, is it fair for the judge to let you go freely based on the fact that now you've changed your ways? I mean, would he be a good judge if he were to let you go?
Like I was saying, if I had been judged for it or if I had been punished for it, and I know I've changed to that point, and it came to the date of maturity for me to feel like I should move on, then yeah.
So it would be fair for the judge to let you go if you committed some type of a serious crime?
If I was already, if I had already been punished.
No, that's what I'm saying is it's your day in court. Let's say you were guilty. Let's say you were guilty of some heinous crime. A person let's say it's a person that's guilty of murder or rape or some kind of serious thing. They're standing before the judge now. Okay. There's got to be, it's not going to be a good judge if he lets that person go, right? Okay. And so anytime that a crime is committed, then in order for there to be justice has to be met, correct?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. So what I'm attempting to do is to kind of relate that to your life as well, that the Bible teaches that when we die, that we'll all stand before God in judgment. And that basically you said that you were guilty in the past of violating some of God's laws. And so it wouldn't really matter whether from this day on you were perfect. The fact would be that you've already violated the law. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so the fact that you violated the law before makes you guilty. Does that make sense? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And so if you were to stand before God, you would be like me and others that would be guilty before God for breaking His law. Then it would only be just for Him to give the just punishment for that. You see what I'm saying?